Holiday looks good, but wait, his foot hits the ground just before the ball was out of his hand, so Pacers ball. 11 seconds to go. Pacers up 3 now. Domantas Sabonis missing the free throw. One last chance for the Lakers. Rondo, who's shooting a career-high 45% from 3, cannot hit the game-tying shot. Lakers snap their 14-game road win streak with the 105-102 loss. Here's LeBron James after the game.
Kept our composure, and we did that tonight too. And we still had an opportunity to win the game. We just didn't. So throughout the winning streak, we was able to keep our composure throughout, adversity, up or down. Still being able to make a game out of it, which we did tonight. But sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way, which is okay. But that's how it is.
Can't win them all, although maybe we thought the Lakers might be able to. Nick, was last night about missing Anthony Davis, or are there bigger issues that the Lakers are facing?
Well, there's one, I would say, looming issue for the Lakers that we can discuss in a moment. Last night, though, was about you don't have Anthony Davis, your second best player. You don't have Kyle Kuzma again, who should be your third most reliable scorer, even if he's not your third best player. And LeBron was bad. Like, by his standards, 29-9, 0 of 6 from 3. The free throws near the end. He hit 2 free throws at the end, but he missed 2 the couple possessions earlier that were critical misses. Then Dwight misses a couple. And it's a huge missed opportunity for the Lakers. Because had they won, they'd be a game away from tying the all-time record for most consecutive road wins. They would have had an opportunity to do that in what is their most difficult game of the entire season at Milwaukee Thursday. That's the hardest game on the schedule, and now they go into that game with a loss. The looming bigger issue is the greatest player I've ever seen, one of the 3 greatest players Doug's ever seen, has a free throw problem that's real.
Yeah. And
he's in his head about it. And you even saw, I think we didn't show the highlight, but when they were down 2 on or we did show the highlight, the play where Rondo tries to save the ball, LeBron didn't have to take a 3 when he's 0 for 3 from the field there down 2. One of the reasons he doesn't want to drive. He didn't want to drive. Yeah. And he drove a couple possessions prior, drew the defense to him, kicked it to Caruso for an open look. It was a great shot. He just missed it. But this is right now a real thing for LeBron, which is he has no rhythm at the line, he has no confidence at the line, and he has no routine, which is what is critical to making free throws. And so that's the one looming issue, is watching. He doesn't need to be 85%, but if he's, and even if he's only around 70%, he has to feel like he's 85%, or else it affects the way he plays at the end of games. Saw that yesterday, so I don't want to overreact. Still the best team in the league. LeBron's still MVP, at least of the Western Conference so far this season, but that is something to watch moving forward.
All right, so the micro is let's mark the date, December 17th, 2019.
That's the one.
That you run a play for Rondo to take a 3 at the end of a game. That has never, he's been in the league for over a decade. That has never happened. Obviously, that would not be the look that I would be looking for, considering the litany of other options that they have.
I don't even think Rondo should have been on the floor. They could have subbed him out at the free throw.
That part didn't make any sense to me. Didn't make any sense to me either.
You knew you were going to need a 3 there. I don't know why Rondo's on the floor.
Well, there's a little bit of an infatuation with Rondo there from, I think, members of this coaching staff, especially the end of the bench closest to the scoring table, right? Yep. Because they were in the Eastern Conference when Rondo was true Rondo, and he's getting a lot more run than he probably should be.
Yeah, but even then, they weren't running. The Celtics were not running game-ending 3s for him. But
no, he would be actually be in the post.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and I understand that Victor Oladipo's still not playing, but the Lakers, you don't have Kuzma, you don't have AD. That's 50 points. Yeah. That's 50 points on a pretty good night that you don't have. So on the micro, you're going to lose some of these games. It was a winnable game for them. Really was. It was right there for the taking. So we'll give some credit to the Pacers. On the macro, I completely agree with you on the LeBron free throw thing. I've been a longtime proponent of why does the NBA not have 1-and-1? The three-point line is deeper than any other three-point line. The lane line is wider. You only get 8 seconds to get across midcourt, 24 seconds to shoot the basketball, right? All these are because
everything's harder.
Everything's harder because
except for the 1-and-1.
Except for the 1-and-1. Yep. They used to have 3 for 2 way back in the day. I would make it harder. But for LeBron James, it's the part that you nailed, the really smart part, was not just the free throw yips, it's how it affects players. Alonzo Ball had this problem when he was with the Lakers, has it now at times with the Pelicans, where he won't drive in there to get fouled. He'll avoid contact.
He doesn't want to take it.
Right, because it's the embarrassment of being up there and getting super tight. And here's, the greatest player of this generation sitting up there getting tight at the free throw line when he's been to all these NBA finals. But look, I've had the free throw yips. People are going to go and Google and be like, damn, dude, you couldn't make anything. I was a great free throw shooter. With me, it was just like stage fright. My freshman year, I was at Notre Dame. I airballed a free throw against Rutgers. I made the next one. We lose the game. The next day, John McLeod, my head coach, calls me in. He wants to watch game tape, and it's me and him, and we're watching the airball. What happened here? And I'm not saying that he got in my head. I was in my own head. But between, putting on college muscles, changing your shot, your coach,
But you were a different guy at practice than you were in the game.
Right.
In practice, you could hit free throws, and in the games, you couldn't. You got in your
Yes, but there were times in games where I would feel good,
Yep.
and I'd step up there and feel. And there would be times at games where there would be any place on earth I would rather be than at that free throw line.
Yep.
And LeBron James just sometimes. Last night was a night where he didn't have from three. Even in that kind of weird step-back shot that he likes to shoot, that's like his go-to, even that didn't look comfortable, and the free throw didn't look comfortable, but it affects his game.
But in a year where he's now playing point guard, and he didn't play point guard, in a year where he's leading the league in assists, and that wasn't his thing, you would think that doing something that he's not great at or for the first time or working on wouldn't really give him the yips. How do you get over something like that?
Well, listen, LeBron had a major free throw issue a few years ago, and he fixed it by lane violating on every free throw.
Yes.
He got in a routine.
Yes.
The routine was, forget what he did before the shot, but right as soon as he released it, he would, before it hit the rim, step over the line. And it went uncalled for 3 months.
It's illegal.
It was technically illegal, but you don't really call lane violations in the NBA. And then during a playoff game, it got called.
Right.
And they called it on consecutive free throws, and one referee essentially made it, you're not going to be able to do this anymore. And since then, he hasn't gotten back to a routine. Like, you remember exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And so he's never been a great free throw shooter. But the last 2 years, it's the worst he's been. And now, again, he hit 2 free throws critical late in this game to tie the basketball game, but he missed 2 prior, and then Dwight Howard missed 2 when they had an opportunity to take this win.
Look, I want to turn this into LeBron, Jordan, and all that other stuff. I actually think that what I'm going to say about LeBron is an ultimate compliment. It's like Peyton Manning could be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen, and he never threw a tight spiral, right? Like, he was Duck City, and he played indoors, and he still won. LeBron James has never been a truly confident jump shooter, like consistently. Like most of these guys, like Kobe Bryant, he was terrible in Game 7 when they won the last NBA championship, but he shot, what, 27 shots?
6 of 24.
I mean, he thought the next one was going in. Like LeBron, it comes and goes. Like, I actually think he's one of those guys that's too smart where he's thinking about his shot.
Well, that's the part that I don't think it's about he's not a confident jump shooter. I think it's that LeBron's biggest asset has always, it's never been his size, his body, his speed, it's his brain. And he is always thinking 2 plays ahead and almost supercomputering the basketball game. That works against you at the free throw line. The overthinking, and it works against you in figuring out, but if I go here, am I going to get hit here? Am I going to end up at the line?
Remember